Good morning, and welcome to your 65th meditation. Do you have kids in your life? You should. Don't worry, this podcast is not going to be like those parents who insist that you owe them a grandchild, or those friends whose sanctimoniousness about their parenthood is alone enough to turn you off of ever wanting kids yourself. This podcast is not about parenting at all. It's simply about what can be gained from spending time with kids, whether as a parent, an aunt or an uncle, a babysitting neighbor, a teacher, a community leader, a grandparent, etc. So what can be gained by hanging out with these little humans? A lot. Too much, in fact, to cover here. But here's a small list. Spending time with kids reminds us of our own childhood and what it was like to be one. This is so important because as we grow older, our minds tend to narrow. Through experience, we convince ourselves that we know a few things, and part of that knowing is knowing what to avoid. We become realistic. We arrive at ideas of what we're capable of and what we're not. We become more set in our likes and dislikes. We become proud and awkward and embarrassed in ways that kids seldom are. We have difficulty changing our opinions. We learn to direct and focus our attention in ways that blot out that which we're not engaging with. By attending to one thing, we miss everything. Maybe it's the sound of a distant airplane in the sky, or the birds in a nearby tree, or the color of the stray thread on the floor, or the pattern of the crack in the wall, or the feel of the rug on the soles of your feet. But children notice these things. They teach us a different kind of attention, if we let them. Children experiment. They try and fail and try again, or they change the rules of the game. They take risks and are unembarrassed by their mistakes. They're silly, and they laugh, and they play. Of course, we can't all just become like children. The world needs responsible adults. Children need responsible adults so that they can feel safe and secure and cared for, so that they can be free to be their kid selves. But there's no doubt that we can learn a lot from them. We can learn to be more open, to cast the net of our attention more widely. We can learn to be more imaginative and to look at things from different angles. We can learn to let our egos relax, to stress less and be less stressed by goal-oriented thinking and productivity. We can learn to enjoy the process of doing without any need for specific outcomes. We can learn to play. Scratch that, we can remember how to play. Because we all had this knowledge once, and all still do inside us somewhere to varying degrees. We may just need a little help from the younger generation locating it. So if you have the opportunity, hang out with kids. Observe them. Pay attention to them. We owe it to them to teach what we think we know, but we also owe it to ourselves to let them teach us what they know. Keep it up. You're doing great. Have a wonderful day. This podcast was brought to you by Odium.